243 years ago, a bunch of men broke away from England to form the great nation of the United States of America. There was just one issue though, because America has always been diverse, but for some reason the guys that founded it, take a look, they didn't look that diverse. And 4 years after the country was founded, they thought, oh, we better establish an immigration law, so they came up with this. Acts of the First Congress of the United States. Section 1. Be it enacted by the State and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled that any alien being a free white person. Damn, this country was founded by neo-Nazi white supremacists. So this neo-Nazi white supremacist country struggled along for 183 years without even realizing that diversity is our greatest strength. They had no idea. But then in 1965, there was a nice man named Emanuel Seller. He was a nice Jewish man that wanted to change our immigration laws. And a lot of the people at the time were like, well, wait a minute, won't that change the demographic balance of our country? We don't want that. He said, no, of course it won't. Well, 50 years later, and it looks like soon whites will be a minority. The demographics did change. Oops. And don't blame Emmanuel. There's no way he could have possibly known. And that's why pencils have erasers. Everyone makes mistakes. So he made a little mistake, and now we're diverse. But now we have another problem. We have the problem of white nationalism. And it's such a serious problem, the Judiciary Committee in Congress, they held hearings today, and the committee of analyzing this white nationalism is made up of 3 Jewish people, 3 Africans, and a Muslim. Hey, ethno-nationalism is a serious matter. We don't have any place for that in our diverse society. So we had to get the best and the brightest to look into the matter, and to chair the committee is this gentleman. This is Representative Nadler, and I'm not sure why he has 3 parentheses around his name. That's sort of strange. And he's an American, but he was in this parade to support a foreign country, Israel. Celebrate Israel parade. He's a little short, fat guy next to the guy with the Israeli flag. So we have a Jewish ethno-nationalist heading up an investigation concerning other ethno-nationalists because... And if you didn't watch the hearing, I'll give you a quick summary. It started with a nice Jewish man whose parents were survivors of the Holocaust, accusing the Muslims of being anti-Semitic. This caused a rebuke from the nice Muslim, whose name I think was Muhammad, to claim that no, the Jews are Islamic folks. Then a nice black lady got up to explain to the committee what white nationalists believe. But that angered the Chinese congressman who accused the nice black lady of being a secret Hitler supporter. This caused the nice black lady who represents white nationalism to accuse the Democrats of thinking that blacks are stupid. But the black lady's comment angered the committee chairperson, Mr. Nadler, who is a Jewish nationalist. And he told her he will not tolerate her calling the Chinese man stupid. The nice black lady responded, I didn't call the Chinese man stupid, he's calling black people stupid. The nice Jewish nationalist committee chairman, he could only... But just when you thought things were starting to calm down, some Indian call center, not casino, woman politician accused the nice black lady of inspiring the white shooter who killed a bunch of Muslims in New Zealand. But it ended on a positive note when some of the Jewish members and Muslim members said that they need to work together even though they don't like each other to attack Whitey. 1776 to 2019, 243 years until Clown World. Not too bad. If you look at this tweet here, this is from Omar. She's, I'm sure, a very sweet congresswoman from Minnesota. She's Somali. And she's claiming here that President Trump's advisor, Stephen Miller, is one of these naughty type of nationalists. He's Jewish, so that's interesting. Maybe he is, I don't know. And see, that's part of the issue is if you're going to have a discussion about something, I would think you want to really define your terms and what it means. But I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm just going to go into the basic concept of nationalism. Not a nationalism that's based on a certain color. I've never been that type of nationalist because I think nationalism is more than skin color. Skin color is irrelevant, really. It has to do with your heritage, your culture, your race, your religion. All these things help to bind the people together. That's what nationalism is. It's not a hatred of other people. It's just an idea that people tend to be happier when they're around people like themselves. Not all people, but a lot of people are that way. That's the theory of nationalism. And it shouldn't be a radical concept because, as I'm sure you all know, because both Democrats and Republicans, one of our highest values is ensuring that Israel remains a Jewish state, meaning a homeland for the Jews. That's nationalism. That's Jewish nationalism or Zionism. And I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to the Jews having a homeland. And I know the Palestinians are there. They have a right to a homeland too. How should it be set up? I don't know. It's not my business. My ancestors aren't from the Middle East. I don't really have an affinity to that region. So it's not for me to settle their border disputes. But conceptually, all people, I believe, have a right to self-determination. All people have the right to life, and all people have the right to self-determination. That's the basic concept. It's a very peaceful concept. I think it makes a lot of sense. So what I'm proposing, and a lot of us are proposing, is, okay, let's just take a look at nationalism in certain countries besides Israel, like Hungary. I think Hungary should remain for the Hungarians, and they have a unique language, they have the religion, they have their ethnicity. I don't see a reason why we need to try to replace the Hungarian people with, let's say, people from Somalia. Just like you want the Jews to be replaced in Israel, right? No, you want it. It's the same concept. Or let's say Finland. The Finnish people, they can be quirky, but I love them. But they have the right to their own homeland. It's just a little small homeland. Let them have their homeland. Why should they have to be replaced in their own homeland? See, that's the type of nationalism I support. That those type of countries that are still pretty homogenous can keep their homelands. Now, there comes a more difficult issue. What do you do about like America? Because we were for a couple hundred years like 90% European, but because of the 1965 Immigration Act and all the recent immigration, we're no longer that, and based on demographic trends, this will no longer be a nation of primarily European heritage. I'm not going to debate if that was good or bad. That's water under the bridge, right? We are where we are. So what do we go forward? Do I think that America can become again a 90% white country? No, I think that's never going to happen. I don't propose that. I don't propose ethnic cleansing. If America wants to stay diverse and import everyone from Panama or Brazil or wherever, or Africa in here, I wouldn't have liked that. But I just wish I had somewhere else I could go. I want to kind of opt out of this diversity program. And what a lot of people will say to me when I talk to them or online or in real life and they're upset with me, they'll say, well, if you don't like it, why don't you go back to Europe? And I would, I really would. That's a legitimate thing to say, but where do I go? I can't go to Hungary because I'm not Hungarian. I don't have that ancestry. I don't think the Finns would take me. So we need a place for a lot of us people of European ancestry that we don't want to harm anyone. We just want to opt out of the diversity. We're not saying diversity is bad. If you love the diversity, God bless you. Maybe that's your thing. I don't object. But just like the Jews have a homeland, I could see us having a kind of a, call it European Zionism, a homeland for potentially our people. Maybe we could do it somewhere like Belarus or something, maybe pay them money. I don't know the details, but just that concept that people that want to check out of diversity, I think many of us would accept that offer. And I see that as just a win-win. I don't see how that could be negative, because you would get rid of these evil people that you don't like their ideas, and people that don't really want to be diversity, why keep them? Let them go to somewhere else. And I think that's just a reasonable option. We have a precedent. We've done that for the Jews in Israel. So why can't we do it for people of European descent? I don't see what is intrinsically evil about that concept. I think that's all we nationalists want. So there's two things. The countries that already are still pretty homogenous, like Hungary and Finland, let's let them stay homogenous, okay? I know it's too late for countries like America and Britain, probably France, but these other countries, let's let them stay. It can't hurt anything to let them stay. And provide us a kind of a European Zionism where us people of European descent, where we don't want to really be part of this diversity project, we can go somewhere else. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's hateful or scary, and I think that's what you should really consider.